According to Jinger Duggar and Jeremy Vuolo, Jim Bob Duggar, Jinger's father, is already making plans for the size of their future family. The pregnant woman and her husband were heard talking about the announcement of the gender of their unborn children by Jinger's sister Johannah and sister-in-law Abby Duggar on a podcast recording from the Jinger and Jeremy show. Today's episode contains some important news. The most recent news has the Duggar sister baby world in a frenzy. According to Jeremy, Johannah and Abby disclosed their children's gender. Jinger responds, "Oh, sure. My parents could have 100 grandchildren very soon. Because our children's marital status is not 100%. Your dad sent this out the other day," Jeremy remarks while using his phone to view an email from Jinger's father, Jim Bob Duggar. This is therefore based on the assumption that each grandchild has 5 children in total. That's a lot of presumption. Look at how quickly it builds up. In just 14 generations, there may be 24 billion Duggars. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar are parents of 19 children. As of this now, they have almost 40 grandchildren. In a previous episode of their podcast, they talked about Jinger's propensity to be a little crunchy about modern medicine. The mother of 3 once stated that she frequently lets her kids soak up the sun and doesn't believe sunscreen is required. After reading the story, I think sunscreen is a fascinating subject. Consequently, I haven't done the required research, Jeremy said. Again, I'm not saying that I'm crunchy here, but look at the skin cancer statistics. I also read that sunscreen doesn't assist with that. I don't put sunscreen on all the time, which is probably why I have more wrinkles and because I'm in my 30s, replied Jinger. Therefore, I don't utilize that all the time. I steer clear of conventional sunscreens whenever I can because they are quite dangerous when used topically. The Duggar family is one of the most well-known names in the world of reality TV families. Viewers who followed Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, their 19 children, and their expanding families became familiar with the Duggar family thanks to their television program 19 Kids and Counting Later Counting On. The 4th daughter of Jim Bob and Michelle, Jinger Duggar, is one of these kids. She married Jeremy Vuolo and has since carved out a career for herself in the public eye. The Duggar family is well known for their distinctive parenting style and strong Christian convictions, but Jinger and Jeremy have gained notoriety for their own family goals, aspirations, and, most recently, an audacious declaration. The couple recently talked about their aspirations for their expanding brood, joking that they might have 24 billion Duggar kids in the future. Although this might come out as a fanciful remark, it provides an intriguing glimpse into the couple's values, perspectives on family life, and distinct parenting style. The legacy of the Duggar family. Fans have long been captivated by the Duggar family because of their huge family and traditional way of life. Given their belief that children are a blessing and that the more children they had, the more they could impart their ideals to the world, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar have always been extremely forthright about their wish to have a large family. Their views and way of life have generated discussion, admiration, and sometimes criticism over the years. But as Jinger and her husband, Jeremy Vuolo, welcome parenting on their own terms, there is a subtle change in perspective. Despite coming from a large numbers-focused family, Jinger and Jeremy appear to be taking a more contemporary approach to the idea of having children, incorporating layers of personal preference, space, and balance into their plans. Their recent remarks suggest that they still maintain a similar belief in the importance of family and the joy that children bring into their lives, even though their family planning may not be as drastic as her parents' need for a constantly growing brood. Jeremy Vuolo. A novel viewpoint. The Duggar family was raised in a very conservative environment. Unlike Jeremy Vuolo, who married Jinger Duggar in 2016. He was raised in a more moderate household in Pennsylvania, but he eventually developed a strong bond with evangelical Christianity. He is well known for his experience playing professional soccer and for becoming a preacher, both of which have shaped his perspective on family. His experience with Jinger is an example of how his own contemporary, yet nonetheless pious, viewpoints intersect with traditional Duggar beliefs. Some of the Duggar family's perspectives on life have changed as a result of Jeremy's interactions with the Vuolo family. It appears from the couple's personal beliefs that they want to strike a compromise between their religious beliefs and a more modern approach to family planning. The pair has stated in interviews that they would like to have a big family, but they appear to be more interested in moving slowly than in creating a brood that grows constantly, as the Duggar parents did. The remark about 24 billion Duggar kids could be interpreted as a lighthearted response to the public's infatuation with big families, demonstrating how Jeremy, in particular, likes to make fun of the notion of the family growing indefinitely. After all, the idea of carrying on that tradition sounds both intimidating and absurd at the same time when you come from a family of 19 siblings. The lighthearted conversation between Jeremy and Jinger humanizes them in ways that fans of the Duggar family might not anticipate. The function of Jinger in family development. Despite coming from a big family, Jinger Duggar has always been one of her siblings' more self-reliant and considerate members. She was frequently perceived as a calmer, more reticent person as a child, but as an adult, she has gained recognition for her readiness to break with her family's customs and follow her own path. Jinger moved from Arkansas to Laredo, Texas, to begin a life with her husband, Jeremy, since she was clear from the beginning that she wanted to experience life outside of the confines of her childhood home. Jinger's developing independence was further demonstrated by her choice to wear slacks, which was controversial in her conservative family. Although there was some opposition to her decision to abandon the extremely regimented Duggar lifestyle, her fans applauded her wish to live a more genuine life. Her personal approach to family appears to strike a compromise between the freedom she has discovered in her marriage to Jeremy and the principles her parents instilled in her. Though the fanciful notion of 24 billion Duggar kids also suggests a sense of humor and an awareness that lofty goals don't always have to be taken literally. Their wish for a large family may also reflect a love of children and a desire to raise a home full of love and faith. Using heart and humor in family planning. Although Jinger and Jeremy's remarks regarding the Duggar family's future may appear severe at first, they are part of a broader cultural discussion about family dynamics. Given how firmly embedded the Duggar family values are in their parenting style, the concept of 24 billion kids may serve as a metaphor. Their comment illustrates how their own expanding family fits into the greater tradition of the Duggar clan, even though it may not be a literal prophecy. Their common outlook on the future also highlights their dedication to their faith and the significance of providing children with a loving and purposeful environment. Both Jeremy and Jinger embrace the idea of starting a large family in order to leave a lasting legacy. They appear to be relishing the process of starting a family more leisurely, savoring the moments rather than hurrying to pack a house with kids, in contrast to the unrelenting growth that defined Jinger's childhood. Their knowledge that the road of parenthood involves striking a balance between humor, faith, and careful decision-making is reflected in this humorous ambition. They may be illustrating a new paradigm for big families, one in which happiness and love are prioritized before duty or social expectations. The metaphor of the 24 billion Duggar kids. Why then is 24 billion written? The humorous tone of this sentence indicates that Jinger and Jeremy are not making a serious prediction, and the number itself is clearly an exaggeration. Instead, it's an enjoyable method of examining the possible size of their family should they decide to continue having children indefinitely. It also makes light of how the general public views the Duggar family, who have long been notorious for their size. This extravagant concept also illustrates how the pair is changing the story of the Duggar family. Although they are aware of the legacy they have inherited, they are not constrained by it. Their whimsical pronouncement of 24 billion kids emphasizes their passion of creating something enduring and significant, their dedication to raising children, and their delight in family life. In summary, gazing ahead, it remains to be seen if Jinger and Jeremy Vuolo will have a large family like Michelle Duggar and Jim Bob. Nonetheless, their outlook on their family's future appears to be based on their own sense of humor and purpose. Although they make fun of the idea of having 24 billion Duggar kids, the underlying message is unmistakable. They value family and wish to keep creating a life that is based on pleasure, love, and faith.